Introducing Amy MacMahon, the South Brisbane candidate for the Greens on the eCentral Business Show. I'm John Nayler. Amy, thank you very much for continuing to participate in this extended edition.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, great. Now, it is the eCentral Business Show, so in the last video we talked quite a bit about where you come from and the Greens values and those sorts of things. What I think is really important, and we know that it's such a big issue around the Darney coal, but it's not just the Darney coal, is it? There's, you know, you guys obviously stand for, and there's a much bigger picture in terms of not just the battle, but the mission that has to be won, a change of mindset even. Go for it. What do the Greens really want us to be? Where do we need to be?
I think it's important to remember that the Greens aren't just about stopping Adani or stopping coal mines. We do have a broader vision for a prosperous and connected Queensland that is beyond fossil fuels. So how are we going to get through the next 10, 15 years in this transition away from coal and fossil fuels?
Because it's happening, isn't it? We've heard so much about South Australia. They've almost taken some leadership, which we'd almost be kind of upset about if we wanted to be. So there's some really exciting things happening, even here in Australia, even here in Queensland. We know there's been a huge uptake in solar rooftops on people's houses, for example. But more broadly, the Greens are trying to articulate a different vision for rural economies. And at the moment, people are being told you have Adani or you're facing a recession. And this is really a false dichotomy. I think there's space for us to be talking about a whole range of different things that we could be doing in rural Queensland to help people, to be encouraging business as well. So having investment in social housing and renewable energy generation and storage, and thinking about the business opportunities that would emerge around having certainty long term in those kind of industries. I think that's really important. Well, there's a guy that lived on a boat for a bunch of years up on the Great Barrier Reef. I'm very much in touch with that amazing asset that we've got that's a source of biodiversity. You know, it's something that's iconic in terms of the world's destinations and on the tourism. The flow through tourism income for a place such as where I lived, Ellie Beach, was enormous. Now that was all placed at threat because a coal port, that was to support Adani. So, I'm cognizant of that sort of thing and going, where do you find balance in that? And which way do we have to go? Not just, it seems like a no-brainer decision to me.
And the other important thing to remember is that the mining industry is going through a big shift towards automation, which means there won't be many jobs there in the future. And Adani have a stated commitment to automation as well. So the jobs that they have been sharing are going to be quite small. So this isn't even really a big win for people who want to get jobs in rural Queensland. And what could we be thinking about in terms of government investment and business opportunities that could mean there are better ways to do this out in rural Queensland, better opportunities. I think there's some exciting futures in renewable energy. There's also opportunities for agriculture, improving the way we do agriculture, having...
but even automation across that means,
that's
do we
true.
need to... I don't think we've got time in this show to talk about the bigger social issue that we have in the future of massive automation, meaning human race doesn't have a lot to do other than sit around and talk about things.
Exactly. I think there's a really exciting bigger question there, and some discussion around like a universal basic income, for example. That's probably something for another whole video.
But I've listened to those discussions, participated in those discussions, and it's what do we do with ourselves if we're not tending the fields and not digging up coal?
That's right.
I've tried living on a boat. Eventually, even that gets boring, believe it. But anyway, so now obviously big business is usually the focal point when it comes to these big projects. Where do the Greens stand in terms of big business, small business, and who do you look after?
The Greens, because we're focused on this grassroots, tend to be much more focused on small business and how can you be encouraging small business in the current climate? How can you make sure small business have a competitive advantage in relation to big business? How can you make sure...
I'd be happy with a level playing field.
A level playing field, When there's a lot of encouragement of big property development, big new projects going on all around Brisbane, how can you be doing that in a way that ensures ensures that existing small businesses don't go out of business. So, for example, there's the big proposed Queen's Wharf Casino in the middle of Brisbane. What is that going to mean for small businesses that are already in the CBD, that rely on people coming there for lunch and for drinks and entertainment? What better things could we be doing with the heart of Brisbane? This is 10% of the CBD that will be turned over to the casino.
Is it that much?
Yeah, it's huge. It's a huge amount of area.
Footprint, come to think of it, yeah.
And over the river as well. And they will have the benefit of, our beautiful riverfront. That means that there'll be small businesses who'll lose out over time. And we've already seen the ways in which the casino as a big central business is favoured over small business with different liquor licensing, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of channels people there.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Because what is it? Yeah. Is it 24/7 even? Or is it?
Yeah, I think the casino's open 24/7. Yeah, it's even open on Christmas Day. You can't gamble on Christmas Day, but it's still open for a drink. Yeah.
Okay, so that doesn't seem entirely fair.
No, and we know like gambling is a net drain on the economy in terms of social problems and problem gambling. So there's much better things we could be thinking about with the middle of the city that could be beneficial to small business who could take advantage of that space. But more broadly, also thinking about how can we create cities and spaces that are connected in a way that can, encourage placemaking and encourage small business that emerges around particular communities. So we've got a lot of property development that's going on around Brisbane as well at the moment, and a lot of this has been done without considering, how do you create a neighbourhood? How do you make places that people actually want to come to?
Sure.
So we've got a lot of empty shop fronts at the moment because they're on busy roads and they're in places where people don't walk or it isn't easy to cycle, and you don't want to, take your kids in a pram down there because it's not a nice place. So how could we be creating these spaces where small business could thrive because they're really connected into the neighbourhood? And the Greens have been talking a lot about how can we be doing planning in Brisbane better for people, which would have a lot of flow-on benefits for small business.
Yeah, or you look almost the go-to guys and the stuff, the Netherlands and Amsterdam, lovely place where the push bikes own the road.
Yeah, that's
right. Own the footpath. They own. You stay out of the way of the push bikes.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately they've got a lot of this very flat country, but at the same time they've really embraced the push bike in a way that we could, I think, at this stage just dream about. And then at the same time, we've got such an iconic place as South Bank. The parklands there are really, I'm very proud of where we got it. Yeah, I was at uni when the expo was on and watched that transition from into a park space after the expo and what was there prior. We've got all that to embrace and sort of capitalise on it. So that opportunity is there for us to do. Yeah.
And we've got that as an example of how this could work. All those businesses there are thriving because there's so many tourists coming through, so much foot traffic coming through.
Yeah.
So how could we replicate that in
the restaurant strip in Little Stanley Street? Adore it. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay, look, Amy, I think we're pretty much sure we're out of our 10-minute slot right now. So thank you very much for coming to speak to us. It's an extended edition and something that's relevant around business, obviously, very important as part of the eCentral Business Show. So all the best for the coming election.
Great, thank you.
Amy, okay, thank you very much. And obviously the Greens is something you can make contact with Amy online and get in touch with the Greens if you want to participate more. You're looking for people that are going to go out and door knock and represent and that sort of thing. Go have those conversations, Amy?
Yeah, have those conversations with your neighbours and friends in the lead up to the election would be great.
Okay, thank you very much, Amy.
Thank you.
All right, that's another episode done on the eCentral Business Show. I'm John Nayler. Thank you very much for watching another episode of the eCentral Business Show. What we're looking to do across the eCentral Business Show is bring to you the very best content from great people with really informative knowledge to share. It's something that you can listen to in the car. Don't watch it, obviously, when you're doing that, but we're looking to really bring value to you across LinkedIn, YouTube, podcastable content, so it's really great and informative business knowledge. So please tune in as much as you can. Now, the great ways to follow us, you can register on the database, make contact with us, and we'll put your email in. We're going to tell you each month what great videos will come out and just give you a curated version through the eCentral magazine, where we're going to send you the most popular videos for the month. The other thing we can do is obviously invite you to connect with us on LinkedIn, linked up with myself, John Nayler. And the other thing, of course, is look up John Nayler on YouTube and subscribe to our channel there.